Okay, and I'm going to, Graham, I'm going to give you permission to record.
Yeah.
You can really kindly do a backup for me. Okay. Do, 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 do. Okay, so I've done that.
Thank you. It's recording.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. That's my post-it recording. So I'm going to record it and put it onto my YouTube channel. So if anyone's not comfortable with that, you can just take your screen out and but it's just so other people can see it, especially people who've missed it tonight. And I want to say a big thank you for everyone being here. I know it's a beautiful September evening, and I really appreciate some familiar faces and some people that I haven't met yet, and for everyone who's maybe watching this afterwards. Um, so the first thing is everyone got their chart with their birth name. No one had any issues. I had my software ready and open just in case. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is my first ever webinar, so be gentle with me. I'm very used to talking with people one-on-one, but I haven't really done a oh, did someone just drop out? Did someone just join? No. So when someone turns off their video, like the screens pop around. So yeah, it's my first webinar. I really, really love this work and I really wanted to share it and open it up so other people could understand it. And I thought, what should I do? I'll do a webinar and I'll just go through all the numbers. And then hopefully my intention is you guys can get a really lovely understanding of your own chart. And if you already know your numbers, a bit more of a deeper dive into it, like Emma. And it's very interactive. There's only a few of us, so ask me questions. I won't always be able to see you because I'm going to have a presentation up. So just say, hey, Antonia, can you tell me a bit more about this? And I'll do my best to answer. So don't be shy, or else you can pop it in the chat and just ask me, and hopefully I'll see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by introducing myself for those who don't know me, and then I'm going to get you guys to just say a quick hello and where you're from, just so we can connect everyone together. And then we'll start because we have quite a lot to cover and who knows what the timing will be. So we'll just see how we go. So I'm Antonia, I'm 34 and I live in Cambridge in the UK. And I know a few people here and a few people I don't know. And I discovered this work. It's been a very long journey. You know, when you look back and you connect all the dots of your life's experiences and you don't really know where you're going at the time. But I started as a kinesiologist, which I still do. It's a very lovely, gentle, complementary therapy that looks for the root cause behind symptoms. So we work a lot with emotions. That's a really, really big one. What emotional distress, stress, and trauma is underneath the surface of the body. And through this work, I sort of began to get more and more curious about the emotional and physical aspects that connected all together. And last year, I had this really great opportunity to work for this company called the Centre for Conscious Ascension. And through them, I discovered soul contract reading. And I trained with Nicholas, who trained directly from the founders. It's a very lovely lineage. And I just absolutely love it. And I wanted to share it all with you because it's really changed my life. Knowing my numbers has just been life-changing. And it's really cool because I can look back and I can see all the patterns in my life. So I have a blog and I've been writing in it for about 4 years. And I write all about these certain themes and topics, and every topic is linked to a number in my chart. So I talk a lot about boundaries. That's the number 8. I talk a lot about being authentic. That's the number 7. I talk a lot about self-esteem, which is number 3. And I talk a lot about overwhelm, which I have a lot because I have 2 12s in my chart, and 12s are all about feeling overwhelmed and stressed. But don't worry, I'm going to go through all the numbers and you'll get a really good picture of what they are. Yeah, and I guess I really love working with people who are feeling a bit lost and a bit stuck and wanting a bit more clarity with who they are, because the more self-awareness you have, the more power you have, because you are so much more able to make decisions from a much more intuitive place because you know yourself more. And it's delightful work. It really, really is. And I just want to empower people so they can be the catalyst of their own life, because often we look for other people to sort of fix us or save us, and actually we do that. And it's really, really empowering when you have your chart in front of you and you're like, I know myself now. I know what I need to work through. I know what I need to activate with my talents, and I know what I'm really here to do, and I can just get on and do it. So a soul contract reading is like a signpost, that kind of sends you on your way, and you can keep coming back and looking at it like a little map or a signpost. And that's kind of me. That's my thing. So I do soul contract reading, kinesiology, and a lovely therapy called divine healing, which is all about clearing very deep subconscious emotional blocks, so you can become much more clear and conscious. It's very powerful. We release a lot of fears, a lot of ego programs. It's quite ugly work sometimes. There's a lot of resistance. The ego's like, I don't want to go there, but we pull it out anyway, and you become a lot lighter and freer afterwards. So what I wanted to do was, if everyone could just say who they are, where they're from, and what their intention is for this evening, and that would be lovely. And then I can get a bit of an idea of what you guys are after, and everyone will get to see each other. So you can just wave and just say who you are, and who wants to start? Yes, Emma.
I'm happy to. I'm Emma. I'm a Brit that's fairly nomadic, so currently living in Portugal. We came here from France last year, hence why Antonia was asking which country I was in. And my intention for this evening is just to understand more. I think when I did a reading, which was amazing with Antonia, honestly, it's amazing. And I've done a reading before, which was just, there's just no comparison at all. But I want to be able to understand more, because there was so much information that came at me in that hour that I want to just learn more about it all and refresh my mind on what everything means.
Perfect. Thank you, Emma. And it's true. So when you have a reading, you normally absorb about 20 to 30% in a live reading, because there's just so much. You're getting the real truth of your life, and it can be very, very, whoa, that's a lot to take on. So you kind of like block a lot off, which is why we record the session, so you can go back, listen to it again, and you receive a deeper layer of the transmission, and you hear things that you didn't hear the first time. And if you have a reading at a different point of your life, you'll hear different things coming through. So yeah, thank you, Emma. Perfect. Okay, who else would like to share? Oh, perfect. Graham. Great. Oh. Okay, we're gonna go Graham, then Mel, then Kiara. Sorry, Kiara, we can't see you. Okay, Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I'm from a place called Giggleswick, which is in North Yorkshire, which is a lovely place. I have a bit of a background in holistic therapies, and I've studied things like homeopathy, flower essences, EFT, and the likes. And basically, I'm here to just learn a little more, learn a bit more at a deeper level, which, as Antonio says, the more you hear things repeated times, you will learn different depths of information as you're going along. So it's really good to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it's very nice to have you here, Graham. Very nice indeed. And we've just got Jen joining. Just want to check. Jen, can you hear us okay? Yeah, she'll come on in a minute. Yeah, she can hear us. Okay, great. Jen, we're just doing little introductions at the moment. So as and when you're ready, who was next? It was Mel. Yes, Mel, do you want to let us know a little bit about you?
Hi everyone, and hi Antonia, it's nice to meet you. I obviously haven't worked with you before, so I've got a good friend Hannah who is working with you currently, who suggested that I attend this evening. So I actually live in the village that Hannah does in Sawston, just outside of Cambridge, and I've been on a bit of a journey. I've had some health issues recently, it's kind of opened up like this whole mind body journey and a bit of self-discovery, and I feel like as I'm kind of unpicking the layers of all of that and sort of some of the things that you've discussed already, and some of the things that Graham's alluded to as well, it's just my interest for it all has just really opened up, and I'm really receptive to it all. So yeah, this is just another sort of like string to the bow, and and just sort of seeing how that can interplay in kind of my healing journey, really.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's I think knowledge and self-awareness is very, very healing. It's very empowering. And so I think, yeah, it's lovely to have you here, and hopefully you'll take a lot out of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And who was next? Kiara, would you like to tell us where you are? You're in the car, but where?
Yeah. I am from the United States. I'm currently in Texas.
Nice.
I've always been interested in like spirituality and numerology. I got into reading up on soul contracts maybe about 2 years ago when my son was born. And that was a really difficult time for us. So I was actually trying to understand his soul contract initially. And then when I had the family reading, I wanted to learn a little bit more about myself. So that's why I'm here.
Perfect. So just learning a bit more about yourself. That sounds great. And you're all the way from Texas. I love it. Exotic and international. Yes. It's great to have you here. And Jen said a little intro. She's multitasking, prepping dinner for her daughter. And I know Jen. She went on a retreat that I worked at, and her sister Debs has done a reading with me, and she's excited to learn about it. So that was in the chat. Thank you, Jen. Okay, who else would like to? Ruth.
So yeah, I stay in central Scotland, and just over the last few years I've been doing Reiki, reflexology, and recently qualified in kinesiology. And I suppose the more that I've been like learning, and the more I want to know about stuff. So I've always been fascinated by this sort of stuff. So yeah, just here to hear more about it and learn.
Amazing. So did you study kinesiology where I studied at Task?
I did it in Glasgow at Harmony Health. Yeah.
Fabulous. Another kinesiologist here. All the kinesiology vibes. I love it. Well, you're very welcome here. And then who else have we got? Would anyone else like to say? Oh, Hannah, Claudia. Who had their hand up first? Who can unmute themselves first? Oh, okay, Claudia, you go. You look ready.
Okay. Hi. Yes, I live in North London. I also studied at Task kinesiology with Claire, and I've just qualified as a health coach as well. And I'm really keen, and I love your blog, Antonia. It's great. And I can't remember how I found out about this, whether you emailed me or whether it was part of your website. Well, I can't remember now, but I just thought, oh, that sounds fascinating. And yeah, I kind of want to see what my blocks are, how to get rid of these blocks that are holding me back. I feel a bit held back, but I'm going for it. I'm going for it, but maybe there's something I can release more to,
totally
drive myself forward with more confidence. It's that whole confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah, completely understand.
Aspect.
Yeah, if there's like if we reach your numbers where your karma is, and you're like, oh, I want to know a little bit more, just ask me. Like if anyone's like, oh, I want to know a bit more about the karmas. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but the karma is a really big thing in a chart. That is often where we feel very blocked and very stuck.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a big focal point that you can look at the karma. Definitely goals as well. We'll come on.
Oh, and goals.
Yeah, goals have a bit of a karmic aspect, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, Hannah.
Hello, I'm Hannah. So I live in the same village as Mel, just south of Cambridge, in a little village called Sawston. I've seen you, Antonia, obviously in kinesiology, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm a nurse by background. I'm very science in my brain, and I like fact and I like what I can see. But a health journey has sort of encouraged me to sort of experience different things in terms of my recovery and life and how things are going forward, and learn a bit more about myself. So I'm just sort of enjoying a newfound journey, really.
Thank you, Hannah. Yes, Hannah has sessions with me and she's wonderful, and it's lovely to have you here. And who we've got Arlette. Arlette, yes. Last but
Can you
not
hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm I'm living in the United States. I wanted to learn about spirituality, I started with affirmations, like self-awakening, manifestations, and I feel stuck. And I wanted to learn more about what I'm supposed to be here, what I'm supposed to be doing here. So, and yeah, try to grow more.
Yeah. I can really resonate with that feeling of being stuck. It's quite a difficult place to be in, because you're like, I don't know what's sticking me. And it's like this invisible obstacle that you just can't seem to work through. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what numbers you have in your chart, and we can yeah, as I said with Claudia, like if we get to your number where your karma is and you're like, oh, this is me, this is where I resonate, and you need a bit more support, just say, oh, what else? I'll try to give you a lot of information, but yeah. Okay. So I'm just really going to quickly turn my light on because it's got very dark. September creeps up really quickly, and then I'll come back. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, so what I want everyone to do is I just want everyone to shut their eyes just for a minute, unless you're driving. And I just really want you to connect with your intention and take a really lovely, put your both feet on the ground, so you're really grounded, and take a lovely deep breath in and out. And one more in and out. And I think we've kind of like set our group intention. So that is perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. So let me share my screen. Actually, let me get this up first. Okay. And then I'll share my screen. And hopefully this will work. Okay, I have to share my screen first. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? It's not blank for anyone. Okay. So I'm trying to press present and it's not wanting to work. So let's try it again. Okay. Ta-da. So everyone can see this. No one's looking at anything blank. Okay, perfect. This is what I was going to have on at the beginning, but never mind. Welcome. So what I want to just quickly touch on before we go through the numbers is what you actually looked at when you got your soul contract. So essentially, a soul contract is a set of experiences that the soul wanted to learn at a physical level and a spiritual level. So your soul chose your name and it sort of communicated it to your mother and your father. And that was the name that was written on your birth certificate. And within your name are sound frequencies. And it's these sound frequencies that have this energy. And these are the energies that are going to be flowing through your life. And this makes it a little bit different from conventional numerology, because we're not putting numbers to the English alphabet, we're putting them to an ancient Hebrew alphabet. So it's all about sound, it's a sound frequency. So your chart is about sound. And it forms a set of experiences that your soul would really love you to work through. And what you have, let me just get my little annotating tool in. You might have seen that on your chart. Did anyone have a single triangle? Single triangles can sometimes come up when you have a really short name, but I'll come on to them in a minute, just in case you're looking up a chart for anyone else in your family or your friends. So what we do is, you can see all the letters of my full name. We've translated them into the numbers, which are the Hebrew letters, and we've mapped them onto this chart. It's called the Star of David, and we sort of map them on, adding them up until we get all the numbers here. And what we have is the physical triangle. Now, the physical triangle is more related to your physical reality, and kind of comes online when you're younger, in the earlier part of your life. And it's normally the spiritual triangle here, pointing upwards to the heavens, that comes online a little bit later, because you actually do have to work through the energies of your physical karma, your physical talents, and your physical goals before you can start really activating this beautiful spiritual triangle up here. And it's different for everyone, but that's kind of normally the way that it works. But really, the energies are sort of going to be flowing all together all the time, but that's only a slight distinct separation. Okay, so karma. Everyone's a bit scared of karma, but there's nothing to be scared of. But it is usually the most intense. So karma, oh, let me get my little mousy thing. So karma, sort of down here, is, yeah, as I said, normally the most intense experience that we will have in life, and where we find life a little bit challenging. It's the lessons that our soul really wants us to work through. So does anyone have the same numbers in their karma? Hannah does. So Hannah, your soul really wants you to learn that lesson of that number. Okay. So it's like really wanting to do that. But karma carries the seed of our potential. It may be where we're struggling, but it carries a huge amount of our potential as we work through it. And it's like a seed, and we just need to give it awareness and love and compassion and attention. And so we can start moving through it. And the way we move through it is really by activating our talents. Our talents, sort of, the more we bring our talents online, the more we can sort of shift our karma. The chart kind of works together in this beautiful cohesion. And karma is challenging, but it's designed to make you strong. Our experiences make us stronger, and karma is, it's definitely true. When you know what your karma is, it's a lot easier to work through it. So it's very good to know it. And there's always a way of working through it. I put that on there because, you know, we can feel a bit helpless and a bit disempowered sometimes by the challenges that we have in life. So all we need to do is remember that they're there because our soul wanted to experience them, but we have all the talents to work through them. And when we work through our karma, it becomes our gift of service. So for me, I'll give you a really good example. My karma is 5s, and 5s are all about speech and saying the truth and being very vocal. And I'm giving a webinar to lots of people, which for someone with a karmic 5, especially in the physical, can be quite challenging. So I'm pushing through my karma by doing this very thing. It's all about speech, the 5s. So that's karma. And then we have talents. Talents, okay. So talents are mainly in the positive. Karma does carry mainly negative frequencies until we sort of work through it. Talents are mainly positive unless we haven't really bought them online. A lot of people aren't sure what their talents are. So I want you to really engage with what your talents are today, because they're going to really help you work through this karma, and they're going to help you reach your goals as well. So they're like the fulcrum that kind of pushes you off the karma and into the goals. And as I said, they can be a bit latent in people, like a bit slow to come online. So this is why you have a reading. So you're like, oh, I'm good at that. Let's get it online. Let's work with it. Let's activate them. Okay. And then we have our goals. Our goals are what we're really here to do. My goal is to come into my own power and to connect with lots of people, in a nutshell. And a goal is supposed to be a little bit challenging. So there is a little bit of karma to work through to reach that goal. The soul's like, I'm not going to make it easy peasy. I'm going to chuck in some karma in there to make it a little bit difficult as well. So the numbers for you to kind of work through with the recommendations are always going to be the karma and the goals. And the talents, you just want to keep using them, keep bringing them online. And the goals are our incentive. They're what we're really here to do. Our soul says, I really want you to be doing this in this lifetime. And it's our dreams. It's our soul's dreams. And we may achieve them or we may not. Depends if we've got the talents and if we've got awareness to work through our karma. Oh, no, I want to go forward. Okay. And then I just wanted to touch on the soul destiny. So the soul destiny is like an amalgamation of all of the other numbers. It's the last number to be mapped. And the soul destiny carries everything. It carries the karma of the numbers, it carries the talents, and it carries the goals. And it's like the focal point of the chart of all of it coming together. As I said, it's the pinnacle of what your soul really wants you to achieve. So you'll see that I have the same number in my talents as my soul destiny. That can be quite common to have the similar numbers in your chart. So it means that your soul has put something in place. It's given me the talent to reach my soul destiny. It might give someone else the goal. So it's like a double whammy. It might give someone else the karma. Like, I really want you to work through this to reach this destiny. And then you might have noticed on your chart that you had a dominant vibration. So if I just go back to my chart really quickly. So a dominant vibration is this number here. It's when there's 4 or more numbers in a chart. Does anyone have a dominant vibration here? I can't actually see everyone. Hang on a second.
Yes, I do.
I do, yeah.
Emma, yeah, Emma, and who else was that? Yeah. Oh, Charles Pam's here.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I do.
Hi, Charles. Sorry, I didn't even see you. I didn't even see you joined.
That's fine. I'm just enjoying here.
Okay, perfect. You can just carry on watching.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so do shout because I can't see everyone in my screen. So a dominant vibration is a really strong energy flowing through your chart that your soul really wants you to work through. So that number is going to be pretty intense. So for me, 7s, it's all about coming out of hiding, showing my true self and being authentic, which is a lot about what I write about. So yeah, a dominant vibration carries a very strong energy in your chart. Okay. Yeah, you'll be feeling this one with an exclamation mark. You definitely will. And then I just thought I'd share some other cool things. We talked about if you have a single triangle, but no one here has one, I think. And I wanted to talk about these double letters versus singles. So when you have lots of double letters like 7, 7, 3, 3, 5, 5 in your chart, it's quite a rigid thing that your soul wants you to kind of work through. There's not much room for, there's not so many energies playing around because, for example, a 12-3, you've got the energies of the 12 and the 3. But if it's a 9-9, it's a double whammy of 9s. So it's going to be a bit more intense. Hannah, I saw you smiling because I know you have 9 9s in your chart. How many 9s do you have? Is it 2 or is it 4?
I've got 4 9s, 2 8s, and 2 7s. I've got a lot of double numbers.
Fantastic. And that's why you work with me, because I have 7s, 8s, and 9s as well. So I always work with people with the same numbers as me, which I find really interesting. Yeah, so the double numbers, the soul's like, really want to work on this. And if there's separate numbers, then it's slightly less intense. And then if you have lots of letters in your name, so I have a very long birth name, and that can create lots of different energies in my chart. That means I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. I could jump around a lot, which is very true. Like, I've done a lot of different things. And as I said earlier, if you have the same numbers in your karma, it's a very strong lesson your soul wants you to learn. If you have the same numbers in your talents, you've got a lot of power in your talents to burn through your karma and to achieve your goals. And if you've got the same number in goals, there's something your soul is very determined to do. So we don't want to ignore these signs, okay? And the other thing I'd say is, you know, if you've got the same number in your talents as your karma, then your soul has given you the talent to overcome your karma. So that's a really nice thing, okay? If it's the same number in your goals, it's also given you the talents to reach your goals. It's a perfect match. It's a frequency match. I've got a frequency match of 7 and 7, even if they're in slightly different triangles. So I think that was everything. So we're going to start. Okay. Yeah, and as I said, if anyone's got any questions about as we go through this, just let me know. Okay. So the ones, and I'm just going to check the time. No, we're okay for time. So ones are all about unity, power, and stability. Very strong energies, very creative, like this interlocking kind of power in a chart. And we kind of call them the energies of Archangel Michael. So it's a very masculine expression. And the ones are all about living in integrity and alignment with yourself. So it's a lot about core values and being in integrity, because there's a lot of power that comes with this number. So you really have to use it very responsibly, because sometimes, as you can see down here, there can be a little bit of a misuse of power and responsibility if this number is in your chart. Not always. These are very vague terms, by the way. Everything I'm talking about in a reading, it's very tailored to your life experiences. So it's an open dialogue between us as to where you are and what you're feeling. I remember Emma's reading. I said, "Oh, what about trust?" And Emma said, "Oh no, I'm good with trust," but it was in a karmic position. So it's totally different for each person. It's a completely different experience. So I just thought I'd clear that up. And really, if you have a 1 in your chart, it's all about being of service, serving society in some way, in any way that you choose, especially healing. Very powerful healers have 1s in their charts, share a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. And I call these master energies, very transformative, very powerful for people. And you're making a strong foundation for people to come in, and you're here to hold them with these lovely masculine, strong energies. But we can tend to avoid spiritual growth because, especially if it's in a karmic position, we might want to not do that thing, not be of service. And we can misuse our power, or we can deny that we have any power as well. So if you have a 1 in your chart, the key to really working through this is having a lot of discipline. Well, whatever practice you have, whether it's a spiritual practice or something slightly different. And you need routine and you need stability, because these are very important things. If you have 1s in your chart, you need to have a very strong foundation for yourself so you can be of service to other people. So that is the 1. Does anyone have any questions? You can just shout if you have a question, or you can put it in the chat. A 1 in a chart is quite rare. There's other numbers. There's a 10-1 and a 19-1. So some of you might have that number, but I'm going to go through all of them. But that's the energy really of the 1. So even if you have a 10-1 or a 19-1, this is your 1 energy. Okay.
I was laughing at the last line you had. If you just want to go back.
Do you want to go back? What line was it?
Key to working through spiritual discipline, routine, and stability, which is a constant in my life. So that did make me smile.
Do you have 1s in your chart?
I have a karmic 10-1.
Oh, there we go. And a 10-1 is quite, got to get it right, can be quite perfectionist, quite got to be perfect. We'll come on to the 10-1, Graham, then I'll pick on you.
I came a little bit late, but how can I find my chart?
I sent it to you, Chada. I sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Have you got, let me know if you get it. I just
Yeah, I have it. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so Twos are a beautiful energy to have in a chart, and they're all about emotional resiliency. This is what a 2 is all about. And I love this number so much because what 2s do is they are this lovely big spring, and they bring people in and they buffer them and they look after them. It's very nurturing, very loving, nurturing energy to have in a chart, very feminine, supportive. But there is a lesson with this number. So a couple of the numbers, probably about 5 or 6 of them, have a lesson, and I put all the lessons down. And this one is foolishness to wisdom, which is fantastic. No one likes to be called foolish, but foolishness is all about learning from past mistakes and then becoming wise from them. So what happens is, as the energy of a 2 works in your life, you bounce up and down. It's a spring, it goes up and down. And you make a foolish decision, then you come up and you get the height of wisdom and perspective, and then you bounce back down, then you go up again. So it's all about perspective and wisdom. And when you're wise, you can bring other people into your energy and help them become wise and look after them. It's a very lovely energy. But because of the motion of this 2, it's very up and down. There can be a lot of mood swings in life. We can be very up and down with this number. We can be very sensitive as well. And I love this. We can be very foolish and impulsive. There's a couple of numbers which are a bit impulsive. 5s, 12s, and 2s in particular stand out. I have 5s and 12s, so I'm impulsive and foolish as well. And the other thing with 2s is we've got to be careful of, because we go foolishness to wisdom, we lack balance and judgment for ourselves. So it's really important to have a lot of balance when you have this number in your chart. Anything that can kind of bring you down into this lovely middle point where you're not in this place of going up and down. Very gentle healing for emotional trauma, because if you have a 2 in your chart, especially an 11-2, which we'll come on to, there can be some trauma associated with that number, or some kind of family dysfunction that's kind of gone down the ancestral line. So very gentle healing. And walnut backflower, I know a few people know about backflowers. That's a really lovely one. It really helps to adapt to change. It's a very good backflower to help you adapt. And 2s are a bit woo, so they really need it. Okay.
So Antonia, I've got 2 11-2s.
Oh, Claude,
No.
where are they in your chart?
Oh, physical and spiritual karma.
Oh, a double whammy. Okay.
I've got 3 if it's any consolation.
Who's got
Mel? I'm 11. I'm deaf. This is my lesson. Clearly, I've got it in the physical karma, spiritual talents, and the spiritual goals.
Okay, so the 11, yeah. So it's very, very rare to have a 2-2, but when we come on to the 11-2s, the 11-2 is a lovely number together, but it can just carry. 11-2s are very sensitive and they need a lot of structure, like a lot of structure. And you're all about building your core values. And with the 11-2s, as I said, sometimes family stuff can come down the line. So both my parents have 11-2s in their chart. So they were carrying some stuff from their families. I luckily escaped it. I don't have one. But yeah, 11-2s can be pretty intense. One of my best friends has about 3 of them, and she's a very sensitive soul. So I would say you're both very sensitive. Nodding. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll come on to the 11-2s. Yeah, but yeah, shout out, like that's your number. Oh, 3s. 3s are one of my favorite numbers. I'm sure a few of us have 3s here. Yeah, or 12-3s. Yeah, Charlotte, I know you've got some 12-3s. I've got 2 12-3s in my chart. So 3s are all about communication and self-worth. So this is really lovely. This is you. And this is all about bringing deep soul wisdom and knowledge out of the internal canal and sharing it with the world. And also being able to bring knowledge in and use it for yourself. So it's a 2-way communication. And it's a master number, and a master number is a very powerful number to have in a chart. I think there's only 3 or 4 master numbers. So if you have a 3 in your chart, it's bringing quite a lot of power to it. And as I said, bringing knowledge out. But we can be very shy if we have 3s in our chart and we don't want to share how we feel. And that can really be something to watch out for with the 3s. It's like we're very reluctant to dig deep, and we're very reluctant to share who we are out into the world. So if someone's got a 3 in a karma or a goal position or a soul destiny, that's normally to do with shyness and learning your worth. So interestingly, is another lesson with the 3, and it's all about poverty to wealth. And that is not necessarily financial, though it can be. It's about emotional poverty to emotional wealth. It's about really knowing your worth. And I would say a lot of people with 3s in their chart, and I know this because I'm one of them, we can struggle financially because we are still learning our worth, and we find it a little bit difficult to charge for our services and to stand up for what we're really worthy of. So it's all about self-worth, this number, and to come out of hiding. It's a really big thing. But if you have 3 in a talents, or maybe it's in a karma or in a goals, and this may resonate or may not resonate. People with 3s are great at communicating. They are brilliant performers, singers, actors, writers especially, and they can just, I think we did some charts of some famous people the other day, and they had a lot of 7s and 3s and talents, and they were all singers. So you can look up charts of famous people, and it's really interesting. It's a very creative, intuitive number. It's such a beautiful number. And if you have this, you normally have these, you could be a teacher of some kind, not in a school, but like well, you could be, but more of a teacher of this knowledge that you're sort of bringing out and sharing with the world. And this is my favorite thing about the 3s. You're here to make lots of money and awaken sexually, because the 3s are a very sexual number, which may seem really weird, but it's all about learning your sexuality and feeling deserving of it and understanding yourself. So not in a crass way, but in a very sort of, I know my worth and I know who I deserve to be. And I deserve to earn money, and I deserve to be recognized, and I deserve to come out of hiding. So as I said, watch out for shyness. If you're shy, you need to do more of this. More writing, more singing, more communicating, more showing your face, more using your voice. And 3s like to stay very busy. 3s are rushers around us. I know, because I've got 3s. We like to just, oh no, don't want to do that. So we need to learn to express our feelings, and that it's safe to do so. It can be very hard for 3s. We can be a little impatient because there's so much we want to communicate and do. I see you nodding. Yes. Very impatient energy, the 3s. It's like, oh, lots to do. And as I said, it's tapping into this insecurity and this very deep unworthiness that we may not even be conscious of, and bringing it up into the light. So the way to really work through this is to communicate consciously with yourself first and foremost, and with other people in your life, and to overcome the emotional frozenness, which is not a word, but to gently to start bringing those emotions out of the inner canal, because often we bury them deep, and we're like, I know I'm feeling something, but I don't know what it is, and I can't get to it, and I get a bit frustrated and angry, like, what is this feeling that I have? That's because it's just very deep. It's sort of in the core of you. It's right down here. And as I said, activities to express yourself. So more singing. I do conscious dancing. So for 3s, that is amazing, because I'm out in public dancing with a group of people that I don't know. And it's quite terrifying the first few times. And now I'm used to it. But that worked for me. But it could be a choir. It could be like a group program. It could be a workshop that you go to. You're all brave coming here. So that's something. And because it's a lot about poverty to wealth, getting clear with your finances, so having a lot of like not burying your head in the sand, which is what I tend to do. So it's actually being very clear with, what money do I have in my life? What's coming in? What's coming out? Let's look at it. Let's bring it out of hiding. Time check. We're okay. Okay. So let's go on to number 4. Does anyone have any questions about 3 before I move on? Because I know a lot of people might have it in their chart. No, we're all good. Okay. 4's are a fantastic number. So I picked to do this webinar on the 13th, which is 1 and 3 equals 4, because 4 is all about the flow of abundance. And it's all about trust. And it's about trusting that you are worthy to receive and that you can receive. And this number is really all about radiating who you are and all you have to the world. It is sharing. This is the symbol. It's learning and it's sharing and it's learning again and it's sharing. So it's all about sharing yourself, sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom, sharing your love. It's really beautiful. It's basically a duplication. It's the number of duplication and sharing. It's a really lovely number. And the lesson, there's another lesson. There's a few of them. The lesson of this is barren to fruitful. And this is all about knowing that you are worthy to receive. So people with 4s often have children. And they often, or if they don't have children, they tend to find themselves spending time with children. And I gave 2 readings to people I knew. Neither of them had children and both of them had 4s in their karma. And both of them had been nannies, which I found really interesting because they were drawn to children, because children give you unconditional love. And then you learn to know that you are worthy of receiving that unconditional love. And then you give it back to them. And that is the flow of abundance. It starts with love. It's all it is. And I don't know if anyone has got 4 in their talents here, but if you do, you're going to be pretty good in business stuff. It's a lot of intelligence with 4s. You have this great ability to learn something, share it, pass it on. So it's a really nice one to have. But watch out, because with 4s, you have to learn to share what you have. You have to really learn to share yourself, share your money, share your time, share your wisdom. The more you share, the more you receive. It's a universal law of give and receive. It's a constant motion of energy, giving, receiving, giving, receiving. 4s sometimes have a block. They're like, oh, the more I share, the less I'll have. And that's not true. So the more you share, the more you'll have. This is a big lesson for 4s. You've got to trust. You've got to trust in the next thing happening and turning up for you. It's about taking risks, allowing new possibilities to come in. So there's a really lovely phrase called aparigraha, and it means let what wants to come, come, and let what wants to go, go. But often when we're holding on to like what we think, it's like a fist. Nothing new can come in, and 4s can sometimes clench too tightly onto what they have for fear of nothing coming in to take its place. And you need to know that you're deserving of abundance. So anything that you can do to connect yourself with that. So anything, like whether it's a meditation or whether it's connecting to whatever it is you believe in, whatever it is, I call it God. It's the same thing as the universe. It's the same thing as spirit. And anything that you can do in a group to encourage sharing. I really love this suggestion. So anything that makes you share yourself with people is a really lovely thing to do. And especially with children, really, really lovely. Spend time with children. If you have children, spend time with them. If you don't, and you have nieces and nephews, spend time with them. It's a really lovely way. And there's this fab book called Letting Go by David Hawkins, which is very good for people who are wanting to come more into trust. Okay, there's a lot with 4s. There's often more, I find, with the single numbers on their own rather than the double ones. But that's why I spend a bit more time on these, because a lot of people have these in their charts. And we'll take a breather after 5 and just check in to see how you guys are feeling. Oh, I love a 5 energy. Has anyone got 5s here? Emma's got 5s. Who else has got 5s? Oh no, I can't see anyone else. Okay, I think Chara's got 5s. I think
I got double 5s.
you got 5, and Mel's got 5s. Okay, you've got double 5. Yeah. And Mel, you got 5. Where are your 5s, Mel?
I've got double 5s in physical talents.
Okay, lovely. Okay, and Chara, I know where your 5s are. Okay, so 5s. 5s are all about truth. 5s can be punchy with the truth. They can say it how it is, or they can avoid saying the truth. It's a really funny one. It's always a balance with these numbers. You're either leaning too far into one way or too far into another. But it's a very etheric, light energy. So Mel, you've got 11 2s and 5s. Very sensitive. 5s are very sensitive. I've got them in my karma. So I feel them. It's a very light energy that comes down into a very dense physical reality. And especially if we have 5s in our physical triangle, it can be quite challenging because they're much more suited to the spiritual, because they're much more spiritual, creative, and intuitive energy. But 5s are pioneers. This is what I love about 5s. 5s are at the forefront of things. 5s are creators. 5s are visionaries. They innovate, they create. It's a really lovely energy. It's just we need to ground it, because 5s can be 5s can be very in our heads. We can be very mental, and not very grounded. And if you've got 8s in your chart as well, you're going to be very mental and very ungrounded. Mental is in overthinking too much. But yeah, it's all about standing up for your beliefs, truth. It's normally very important for 5s if they have it in your chart. Mel, is the truth very important to you? I've lost you. Where are you?
Yes, very much so. And a lot of what you're saying is really hitting home.
Oh, is it? Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I can sort of see a lot in what you've said. So yeah, it's really interesting. Thank you.
Perfect. And Charlie, you've got some 5s. It's a truth important to you.
Yeah, but I got some 5s, and it's interesting that like I got 5s in the spiritual goals and like spiritual karma as well. So like, you know, back in there I was like that, and I'm just like, okay, it's not enough, so more 5s.
Yes, exactly. And you've got 5s in the spiritual triangle, which is a better place to have them. But because they're in karma and goals, there's going to be more of a karmic aspect. We'll come on to that. I know you're excited. So 5s make very good channels. They're very intuitive, very connected to higher energies and frequencies. And they're good at talking. They're good at speech. It's that 5 energy I mentioned earlier. Very good at automatic writing, speaking, talking. And the thing is, accept yourself as a pioneer. If you've got 5s in your chart, embrace that pioneer energy and use it and create. Be at the forefront of something. Lovely energies. So the only thing, oops, where's my mouse going? The only thing with 5s is that we can be a little bit too truthful, a little bit harsh, or we can be not assertive enough. So sometimes 5s can manifest situations that are a little bit with other dominating energies. So abusive is too strong a word, but we can meet people that we have to learn to be assertive with, because we're not assertive enough. And it's the soul saying, we're going to meet you with this person so you can start asserting yourself more and standing up for yourself and being truthful with how you're feeling. We're a little bit impulsive and impatient with 5s. Like 3s, want to get things doing. We're pioneers, want to create stuff. Yeah, Emma. But sometimes because we're so sensitive and so ethereal and so connected to a much more spiritual realm, we find it quite hard to acclimatize in society. It's a very intangible, delicate, gentle energy, and society can feel quite harsh, quite tough, quite intense for us because we're very sensitive. So lots of grounding for 5s, lots of speaking your truth to make it real. We have to make things tangible, and lots of expressive activities to open up your vocal cords. And I said keep a diary because keeping a diary makes things real. So it's all about making things real with the fives. Got to make things very tangible and very real, grounding all that lovely spiritual energy down. So that's all the fives. So just want to check in really quickly how everyone's doing before we move into the sixes. Is everyone fine energy-wise? And it's a lot of information. Okay, I think everyone's okay. Perfect.
I was Antonia.
Yes.
I was just going to say I can resonate with the truth in the fives, because when I was working for somebody once, I have quite a lot of fives in my chart, and I had to tell the boss the truth about financial matters, and he basically didn't want to hear it. So ultimately it led to a parting of the ways, because basically I couldn't say something that wasn't truthful, and he wasn't open enough and receptive enough to take that truth. So it's very true what the numbers say. It does happen in real life.
Yeah, you have to really speak your truth, don't you? And my situation, I worked for someone for 4 years that was very sort of dominating energy. That was very unhealthy, and I never learned to stand up for myself. So I just stayed there. My soul was like, you will stay until you learn. Eventually I did leave. Thank goodness, I know. So yeah, fives. If you've got fives in your chart and you end up in a sticky situation, it's all about standing up for yourselves, and that will get you out of it. Because ultimately, Graham, that probably wasn't where you were meant to be, and it was like that nudge to leave.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. True.
No pun intended.
No, but a great pun. Okay, sixes. I love sixes. Sixes are the flow of spiritual energy that sometimes gets stuck in a little knot of anger and frustration. So if you have sixes in your chart, I would say that you're very creative. But a lot of people don't think they're creative, even though they have sixes in their chart, because they think it has to look a certain way, and it doesn't. Creation is a thought, and that thought expands. And if you have sixes, you have the ability to expand that into this dynamic creative spark. Very powerful, very catalytic, and very grounding number. It's very good number to have in your chart. 8s and 6s are the most grounded physical numbers to have in a chart. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Excellent in business, and this knowing that they can achieve. So if you have 6s in your talents, you can be very focused and very focused on what you want to do, what you want to create, and knowing that you can do it. So it's a very strong number to have in your talents. Very strong energy, very strong-willed Taurus energy, very practical, focused, grounded, get things done. But if it's in your goals or your karma, I wonder whether this lovely flow of creativity gets blocked and stuck. And this point here is where we get quite angry and frustrated with ourselves. So that is the caveat of the sixes. We're very creative and expansive, yet we can feel very stuck very easily, which can cause a lot of frustration and anger with ourselves and at life. We can also fall into isolation. It's a really powerful one for sixes. We can be really isolated with a 6 in our chart, physically, emotionally. And I put addictions down because often if there's 6s in a chart, you have a bit more of this need. It's a bit more, you know how they say creatives are they have a lot of addictions. Well, creatives are 6. Musicians, actors, performers, they all drugs, rock and roll. Well, that's where this addiction thing comes from. It's to overcome the isolation and the frustration and the anger. So it's just to watch out that you don't get hooked into something or too fanatical or too obsessed with something. Especially if you have a 12, 3 and a 6 in your chart. That can be a very sort of, get a bit hooked into something. And you can be a bit stubborn and rigid sometimes. A 6 is all about letting it flow and releasing any rigidity that it has to look a certain way. So you can actually take a risk and do something. And what you really need to do when you have a 6 in your chart, this is the main thing, the most important thing, is you need to break things down into baby steps, because 6s get overwhelmed, they get too scattered, like, oh, there's so many things to do, I'm burnt out and scattered and distracted. So you have to focus on one thing and one thing only. Take baby steps, project manage yourself, and when you've done something, tick it off. Yes, I did it, tick it off. And use your creativity to unblock this energy here that's causing this stagnation. So you've got to be more creative to work through the creative blocks, okay? And anything to help release anger is also important for 6s, so you can break this kind of angry point just here. Okay, so that is 6s, and we shall continue. Let's move on to 7s. 7s are my number because they're my dominant number. I have 4 of them. Who else has 7s here? Oh, Hannah, Claudia, no one else. Okay, this is, oh, Ruth, you have 7s. Okay, perfect. Okay, so 7s are all about working and healing from the heart. It is a beautiful number to have. It's very magnetic. Chada, you have it in your common name. Charles, Pam, you have 7s in your talents. I thought you'd like to know that. So yeah, your common name has a different set of energies. It's not as important as your main chart, but I won't complicate things. So 7s are all about, let's get my little annotating tool up. 7s are all about unifying people through the unification of yourself. So 7s are about coming into your own, it's coming into authenticity. Because I'm going to start with the watch outs first. 7s can hide who they are because they've had a heartbreak. And it might have happened in childhood, it might have happened in utero, it might have happened in a past life, it might have happened, you know, with a partner. But because of this heartbreak that we haven't yet healed, we are too scared to show who we are and we hide. So 7s can really hide who they are because it's not safe to show ourselves with people. We don't feel safe. Goes with 3s, a lot of shyness. But really, 7 is love in action. It's a master number. It's very powerful. It's a link. It's linking things, bringing things together. And if you have 7s in your chart, you are catalyzing for people. You are going to be catalyzing people into action, inspiring major change in them. And it's such magnetic energies. You know, you are normally, people with 7, especially in a talent, they're the party animal, the life and soul of the party. People gravitate towards them. They're like magnets. But if it's in karma or goals, you really are wanting to come into your full expression of yourself and come out of hiding. And you do that by healing your heart. So you integrate as one person. And when you do that, you can unify other people together. It's a very powerful catalytic energy. So we have to loosen the control, know that it's safe to show ourselves, and come into being decisive. This is who I am. This is who I want to show myself to the world. It's about being decisive, letting go of control, healing the heart. And so really a lot of work to do with healing the fear of being seen, whatever caused your heart to hurt. I've had a lot of grief come out in my life, and I really didn't know what this grief was about. It came out a lot this year, but that's the heart, that's that grief coming out that was so deeply buried for me, because I have 3s and I buried it down. It's all about accepting the dark side of yourself, the shadow side, because we are sometimes scared, like, oh no, if I really show my true self, everyone's going to see how deep down, how awful I am and how dark I am. But everyone's got a shadow side. The 7s, it's okay, it's safe to bring it out. Everyone's got one. And I say lots of dancing to unlock that rigidity in the body, to come out of hiding, to know that it's safe to be seen. So I say dancing, it could be any kind of expressive physical activity. Yeah, it's lovely. I love the energy of 7s. Okay. sorry, I'm conscious of time, so I'm not going to go too fast, but I am conscious of time. We might go a little bit over. Okay, so 8s are all about grounding. So I know, Hannah, did you say you had 8s? You got 8s?
I've got a double 8 in spiritual karma.
Ah, love the 8. So do I. Yeah. So if anyone's got 8s, 8s are all oh yeah, Ruth, you got 8s, yeah. Are they in a karma, Ruth, your 8s?
2 8s in my physical talents.
Oh, lovely. Okay, physical talents. Okay. So 8s are all about grounding, and normally very high frequency clairvoyant energies coming into your body. Very, very clairvoyant and very nurturing and supportive. You're like this watery amoeba, and it means that you can be very empathetic with other people. You can really feel, you're very sensitive, you can really feel the and have empathy for other people. The only thing is that it can be too much, and sometimes we want to fix and save other people. And we lose our boundaries really easily when we have 8s, because we're letting too much in. So it's very careful with, you have to be very careful with 8s that you have very strong boundaries. Very, very important. The lovely thing is when you really connect with your 8s are very good with people. So Ruth, I would say that you'd be able to adapt to people very easily. You can fit in anywhere. It's all about connecting to society. And often if you have a karmic 8 or an 8 in your goals, you might want to disconnect from society a bit, or you might be a bit ungrounded. Not always. But really, with an 8, you're here to create heaven on earth. It's about grounding lots of energies down into your physical reality. But just be careful, because with 8s, we can become a bit clingy, or we can become a bit unattached. So 8s are all about connecting with society, but not too, and with people, but not too much. It's that seesaw of balance always. And because we're so ungrounded with 8s in our chart, we have difficulty feeling those deep emotions, like with those 3s. So it's all about feeling deep emotions. And sometimes we don't want to be here. We can feel a bit trapped on earth, a bit, oh, I don't want to deal with my emotions. I don't want to deal with people. I prefer animals to humans. This is a really big thing with 8s. I prefer animals to humans. So lots of grounding. Lots of looking after your body. And by the way, I'm going to go through this a bit quicker because we're running out of time, but I will send you this presentation afterwards. So don't worry if you're scribbling down lots of notes, I can send it to you with all the recommendations. So lots of grounding with 8s, lots of looking after your body, and baby steps to getting yourself out into society. Okay, it's a big thing with 8s. Okay, 9s, this is the best number. Well, it's not the best, it's the most powerful. 9s are about power. They are dragon energy. It's the flow of spirit on the earth plane. It is a very powerful number. Charla, I know you've got 9s in your talents, and I think Hannah's got 9 in her talents. Has everyone else got 9s in their chart? Ruth, where are your 9s?
I have a 9 in talents.
Oh, Kiara, you've got 9 in talents.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruth, where are your talents?
In spiritual talents.
Oh, lovely. So many talented 9s. Okay. Okay, so 9s, if in a talent position, 9s are power. They catalyze your whole chart. They bring the energy of 9s into every other number in your chart. It's a powerful number. It's unstoppable. It's an unstoppable power. Very creative, very spiritual, catalyzes the whole chart. Again, very open to intuition when you have 9s in your chart. And often you have a great gut instinct, so you know your truth. You know what's real to you. And people with 9s often feel like they have this invisible protection around them. Like, I'll do it, I'll try it, because I'm supported. I just have this invisible feeling of like, someone's got my back. It's a really fun number, very powerful number. If you have a 9 in a goal, in a soul destiny or a karma, you're here to claim back and express your power, because often there might have been disempowerment somewhere in your life. So it's all about, yeah, as I say, disempowerment. Again, it's the seesaw of balance. We can have had disempowerment, so we're here to claim back our power, or we're too powerful and we have to learn the balance of power. So for me, with a 9 and my spiritual goals, I have to learn to use power responsibly and not take advantage of it. And I have to accept it and not stop resisting it. Like, I am powerful. Let's remember it. And sometimes we push our bodies quite hard with 9s. My brother has 4 9s in his chart, and he does so much stuff all the time. He's paddling, kayaking across the channel or climbing a mountain because his 9s are pushing him all the time. It's just so much for him. So be careful of that. Be careful of that strong 9 energy. It can make you feel like you're invincible, but you've got to look after your body. So you've got to work through any disempowerment you have. It's all about surrendering to this lovely flow of spirit, trusting that intuition always, staying grounded because it's a very powerful number. And if you've had disempowerment, taking back power in daily small steps. So again, with that 5 energy, standing up for yourself, speaking your truth, baby steps, always with baby steps with all of these recommendations. We don't want to overwhelm the soul. We want to know that it's safe to come out of hiding. Okay, so now we come on to the double numbers. So there is as much energy, but because it's a 10 and a 1, it's a double energy. So you've got the energies of 10 and you've got the energies of 1. So it's sort of like I can't draw a 5 on that. It's a 50-50 split, okay, between the 2 numbers. The 10s are all about the manifestation of God. Very spiritual number, the highest one that you can have in a chart. I know a few people here have a 10-1 in their chart. Very high frequency soul to take on a 10-1 in their chart. And that's meant to say outsider. Because it's such a strong spiritual energy, sometimes we can feel a bit, oh, where have I landed? Where am I right now? What's happening? I'm normally over here doing amazing high frequency spiritual stuff. 10-1s are very hardworking. So much so that they can be a little bit perfectionist. I had a friend who I did a reading for the other day. She had a 10-1 in her soul destiny. And she said to me at the end, oh, you talked about all the different characteristics, all the star signs, but you didn't mention Virgo. And I'm really surprised because I can be a real perfectionist. And I'm like, well, it's your 10-1. That's the Virgo energy of your 10-1. We can be very self-critical and self-judgmental if we have this sometimes, if we have it in a karmic position. So be very careful not to criticize yourself or judge yourself too much. It's all about letting go of those perfectionist tendencies and letting go and being a bit more compassionate with yourself and with other people. And really, 10-1s are here to be of service to others. It's a service number. It's you get your satisfaction by helping other people. And it's all about mastering yourself. It's a beautiful number. Graham, did you say you had a 10-1 in your karma? I think you did.
Yeah, I've got it in spiritual karma.
Okay, yeah. Can you be a little bit of a perfectionist?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, it can be a very sort of like, nitpicky, kind of niggly, got to get it right, got to be perfect. Or it can be the other way around, like, I don't really care that much. It's so interesting. It's totally different from each person.
And I think you can vacillate between the two as well.
Yes.
Between being absolutely slightly obsessive perfectionist to, like you say, not really caring.
Yes, that's such a good point to make. With all of these numbers, you can be so deeply in one end of it and then swing wildly to the other. Like, I can be so lazy sometimes, and then other times I can be in a rush all the time. But that's my 12-3s. I can just, where's my balance? 12-3 is all about balance. I can't find it. So yeah, very good point, Graham. So 10-1s, you're here to be of service. You need to stay disciplined. You need to stay focused. Oh, another spelling mistake. And you need to learn compassion. This is my perfectionist tendencies. I don't have a 10-1, but you need to have compassion for yourself. It's really important. Okay. Very important with this number. Okay, you guys are doing really well. We're just soaring through these numbers. You guys are hanging in there really nicely. Okay, so the 11 twos, I know a lot of you have 11 twos. This is going to be a fun one. 11 twos are all about structure. This is a structure to receive an understanding of life. So this is all about understanding your values, core values. It takes a long time for 11 twos to build their structure of truth, but when they do, it's very solid, very stable. And 11s have builder energies. You're building, you're creating, you're creators. It's a very lovely energy to have on the chart. You want to make and build something, and you want to build it for more than not. Oh my gosh, honestly, knowledge. You want to. It's all about assimilating knowledge and pouring it into this building that you're creating. And it's both of these numbers together, the 11 and the 2, very nurturing, very loving. You invite people into your structure of truth, into your aura, into your spring of resilience, and you kind of look after them. It's a very loving number. And the lesson is death to life, which is pretty strong. So when people have this number in their chart, I say to them, I ask them, have you had many experiences of death in your life? People close to you, your family, have you had any near-death experiences? And most often they do, because it's all about the transformation that comes from witnessing death or a near-death experience that comes through. I don't know if anyone has an 11 too who has that death to life, has experienced that. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also say, I think, would it also apply not just to like physical death, but the death of things? It could be the death of a job or a relationship or something like that.
Very hard to let go with an 11 too. We cling on because Ruth, I saw your face. The 11 twos cling on because 11 twos often lack this structure. So they kind of like lean on anything that they can. So this is when I mentioned this, sometimes being a bit dependent on others for this structure that we're desperately needing. And we have to build it ourselves. We have to create our own structure of truth. And, it could be a structure of truth, or it could be a business. If you have this in a goal position, you're here to build something, create something. It could be a system of healing. It could be a physical structure. It could be a song. It could be anything. But yeah, watch out. Family dysfunction comes with this number, which is why a relationship reading is so cool, because you can see those 11 twos flowing through the family lines. Sometimes we like to avoid goals and we don't want to see the truth when it's in front of us. So it's all about, like the 6s, focusing on your goals, the 3s coming out of hiding, seeing the truth. Because we're ultimately here to create our own structures. So healing the family dysfunctions, live according to your truth. It's very important. Your truth is your compass. And find different ways of learning, because sometimes 11 twos struggle to learn in traditional ways. Maybe they didn't do so well at school, but they learn really well in other things. So 11 twos are very intelligent, but in the classic schooling system, they may not have felt that way. It's a good thing to know about that. Okay, we're getting through. 12 threes. And if anyone needs to leave, because we're going over time, please just do. You can just pop me a message in the chat. So 12 threes are lovely. I love them, obviously, because I have them in my chart. They're about expansion of love and absorption of love. This is love coming through you and coming out the other side greater than when it came through you. It's a master number, the 12. And it's all about the expression of great love and great knowledge and sharing it out into the world. And it goes with the 3 because it's all about bringing love outwards, bringing knowledge outwards. So people with a 12-3 love to learn. They can be bookworms. And they have a huge ability to share love with those who need it. Very mothering energies, very loving, mothering, nurturing energies. But because the 12s love to learn so much, we can just get out of balance because we expand too quickly. We want to do too much. Does anyone have child? I know you've got 12 threes. Does anyone else have 12 threes here? I can't see everyone. No, maybe it's just you and me. 12 threes. There'll be other people with 12 threes watching this. We can expand too quickly and then we get out of balance. So it's all about balance with the 12s. And we have to be careful of not judging ourselves too deeply. So with the 3s, we can be quite shy and we're always working on our self-worth. And we're here to be decisive. So I've got 12 3s and 7, so I'm very indecisive. It's a real issue. I have to learn to become decisive. And we have to find approval within ourselves, self-worth, not from others. It's a really big one. So this is all about, actually, this is wrong. This was from the last slide. Ignore that. The 12 3s are all about balanced expansion. It's all about doing things slowly, finding a balance always between the spiritual and the physical, especially. The 12s need a lot of grounding and they need to slow down, lots of slowing down, because we are in a rush all the time and it's exhausting. It's exhausting for us. So we have to have lots of rest, lots of balance, lots of time out. And then a 13-4. Emma, did you have a 13-4? I can't remember. Yes, I thought you did. Yeah. 13-4 is the love of the divine feminine. It's a beautiful number to have in your chart. So beautiful. It's a master number, the 13. It's all about being still and letting people come to you for nourishment, because you are embodying this feminine, loving, sensitive, creative energy. And it's all about finding clarity within yourself and wisdom. So like the 11-2, wisdom. 2 is all about finding wisdom. The 13 is about wisdom. And really you're here to become loving and you're here to become wise. So if it's in a karmic position or a soul destiny or a goal, sometimes there's issues with the mum, sometimes. And it's all about healing the feminine, healing our relationship with our mums, ourselves if we're women. And we need to open our heart. We need to be open and soft and loving and allow love in. So yeah, sometimes we can be a little self-indulgent with the 13s. We don't want to take responsibility. We'd rather just do our own thing. That's okay. We've all got karma to work through. But really, we're really here to open our hearts and to allow others to find us. And the 4 is all about sharing. So you're sharing your love. This is love and this is sharing. So you can see how the numbers always go together. Okay, so let's go on to 14-5. Oh, does anyone have a 14-5 in their chart? No 14-5s here. Okay, that's okay. We'll go through them quickly. 14-5s are pretty intense. I haven't yet given a reading to someone with a 14-5. It's a little rarer. 14-5s are all about intense relationships to learn self-acceptance. It's quite a tough number to have in your chart because 5s are super sensitive and 4s are all about asking, who am I? This is the energy of a 14. You are a multi-dimensional mirror and you are reflecting hidden parts of people so they can really see themselves. So I have this in my common name, Antonia Beamish, and it's my talent. So I might have intense relationships, or I might be quite a good mirror to show people things that they can't see themselves, which I actually really enjoy doing in kinesiology. Or things that they know, but they've forgotten. This is a very magic number. It's a very psychic number when you really tune into it, but it's very intense because you're here to discover who you are, and you do that through relationships. Relationships are our way of understanding ourselves. But because there can be so many intense relationships, if you have a 14-5, you can get pretty emotionally burnt out. So you have to have a lot of downtime, a lot of time alone, and a lot of time to learn to accept yourself by yourself, not through other people. So yeah, it can be a pretty intense number to have in a chart for sure.
My son has this number.
Oh, where does he have it, Kiara?
In his physical talent.
Oh, well, that's good. So does he show you things about yourself?
Yes, very much. My little Virgo.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so definitely 14 fives are mirrors for other people. Yeah, if it's in more of a karmic position, it can just mean lots of intense relationships. So my advice for him is like, get him to slow down a lot, get him to spend time on his own, so he's not always with people, because it's very intense otherwise. But how lovely, he's showing you things about yourself. That's the energy of a 14-5 in motion. Okay, and then we've got 15-6. We've just got a few more numbers. 15-6. Has anyone got a 15-6? Oh, Ruth, where have you got a 15-6?
Soul Destiny.
Ooh, and Mel, where's yours?
Yeah, the same Soul Destiny.
How interesting. Then I can read out in my little folder exactly what the Soul Destiny is for a 15-6. How interesting. So I didn't really put it down. Some not very common one to see. It's a gentle spiritual journey. I love this number. It's not as intense as a 9. It's not as intense as a 14-5. It's a gentle journey to find yourself. But you can be a bit restless. 5s go in circles, trying to find things, trying to find answers, trying to find themselves. And they try lots of new things because they're always seeking. And really, with a 15s, you're here to wake up and become conscious of spirit in your life, spiritual energies, because you'll just keep going around in circles searching for what is really within you. So it's all about coming inside, and it's about learning to feel, and it's all linked to the stomach. So you have to really tap into your stomach and learn to feel things from this center, because that's where your truth sits for you if you have a 15-5 in your chart. And you're a very intuitive, high frequency soul, because it's a very intense lesson. Well, all these lessons are, but it's this seeking lesson. It's all about waking up. But it's a gentle energy. It's like 5s. And Mel, you had 5s, didn't you? And Ruth, did you have 5s? No, so Mel sensitive. Yeah, it's a sensitive, intuitive, high frequency number. And really, the purpose of this lifetime with the soul destiny of this is to have many lessons and to overcome obstacles and to recognize and feel kind of the universe within you and ground your creative flow. So really ground with these 6s your creativity, and to really start feeling the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, this lovely spiritual energy within yourself in a very gentle way. So it's not as intense. It's like a 9, it's being like, yes, spiritual. But watch out for insecurity, okay, and self-worth and knowing your worthiness, okay. And it's all about focus. Remember, the 6s are all about focusing. So 15s are all about focusing. You've got to focus on one thing. Otherwise, you can get too many different directions, trying too many things, going around in circles, looking for God, burnt out. Careful of burnout. Going around in circles, tiring. So you've got to slow down. Got to work on your inner self-worth, your worthiness, as we all do. So that's for everyone. And increase bodily awareness, so you can start tapping into the stomach, the energy of the stomach, to feel your truth and to allow those intuitive abilities to come in. Okay. Okay, so the 16-7. So we've gone through the 7s, come out of hiding, catalyze people, connect people together. And the 16s are bringing all your intuitive wisdom down into earth so that you can connect with people and share it. So I have this in my common name again. This is I think it's a goal. I'm here to, well, maybe bring knowledge and share it down onto the earth plane and make it relatable to people. So people can make spirituality very complicated. You don't have to live on an ashram in India to be spiritual. You are spiritual being a mum, cooking dinner for your kids. There is no bias in it. So it needs to be communicated in a very down-to-earth way, and this is what the talent, this is what a 16 is all about. Plain English, speaking in plain English to people. And they can be very reliable, ambitious and determined people, very lots of ambition. But it takes a lot of time for these lovely strong energies to come through. So again, taking your time with this. And sometimes we can deny all this lovely spiritual energy coming down through our intuitive channel, and we can push it away. And we can guide, or should I say fight, our spiritual growth and rebel against it. So I don't know if anyone has this number in their chart, but we can be a bit rebellious. Like, I don't want to go there. There's another number, 18, which is exactly like this as well. And we have to learn that we are here to accept love, because the 7, remember, is all about healing the heart. So it's all about accepting love, healing the heart, and then catalyzing people. So opening to love and learning to trust what comes to you. And any practice that you want to open to the lovely intuitive energy. Okay. I'm conscious that we've got 8 minutes over already, but we've got 5 more numbers. So if you guys are okay hanging on, you're doing really well. We're nearly at the end, and then I can take some questions. Okay. 17. Oh, I love this one. It looks like a little ghost, or like it's all about expression into society. So this is what we call the abstract mouth, and it's all about communication, flow of communication out into the world. It's all about being very verbal. It's all about swallowing the throat, verbal, a bit like the 5s. And like the 12s, they have a big thirst for knowledge, the 17s. And very good business sense to use it. Does anyone have a 17 here? A 17-8? Oh, no, it's not a very common number. These N1s aren't super common, so I'm really not surprised. Oh, there's a big lesson here, though. It's quite a hard one. Slavery to dominion. So this is all about maybe being in a position where you are under the dominant energy or influence of someone. Maybe it's a guru, a teacher, a partner, a boss, and it's all about coming back into your power. So it's a very strong lesson to learn. It's all about taking back your power, a bit like the 9s. And really, you're here to teach. You're here to express, and you're here to speak, and you're here to ground it into society, because 8s are very grounding, and connect with people and share it. It's all about connecting with people, the 8s. So the 17 and the 8s go really well together. You're here to express and connect with people, teach people. But be careful you're not too opinionated with that strong voice, too one-sided in what you think. Sometimes it's hard to relate to other people when we have the 17-8. We can be a bit inwards. And we can find it hard to express ourselves. Again, it's a seesaw of balance, either really easy to express or really hard. And sometimes, big caveat with this, and I wouldn't just chuck this out there at people if I had a reading, but sometimes with this number in a karma or a goal or soul destiny, there could have been some emotional suppression in childhood, where as a child you weren't free and able to use your voice. This is where the slavery to dominion comes in. So open to love. Oh, honestly, I copied it from the last slide as well, so ignore that. No one's got a 17-8 here, so you don't need any cues to work it through. But if anyone's actually, I should better check just in case anyone's watching this afterwards. So 8s, you need lots of grounding. The 17s need lots of healing for emotional suppression from childhood.
What about in the talents? Not for me, for a friend.
Yeah, so in the talents, yeah, you're good. You're probably very good at expressing yourself, Arlette. Are you sort of quite good at communicating and sharing and speaking up? Because yeah.
It was for a friend trying to
it's for a friend. Yeah. So
yeah.
if it's a talent, all of this juiciness, good at expressing, good at speaking, good at sharing, teaching. It's really nice number. But yeah, slavery to dominion is quite a big one. There's some numbers have bigger lessons than others. Okay, we're getting choosing to follow spirit. 18. Who's got an 18-9 in their chart? Has anyone got one here?
I do.
Ooh, who was that? You flashed on and you flashed off again. Who was that?
I do as well.
Ah, okay. Where are they in your charts?
Spiritual talents.
Okay. Ooh, nice. Yeah. So it's nice to have a 9 in your talents, Ruth. That's really nice. And an 18 is all about finishing things. It's a master number again. It's beautiful. You are here to finish things and sort of tie them in a knot, tie them in a bow and finish things off. So it's a really interesting energy, the 18. I gave a reading to someone who's had an 18 as his goal, super intelligent, very on the forefront of business, the business side, can be very futuristic, very inventive energies with an 18. It's very sort of like the 5s on the forefront of things, but in a very big way, very intellectual energies. And again, like the 17s, you want to express yourself. You want to express yourself vocally. But the energies of 18 are all about being in service to others. It's very humanitarian, this energy, very creative, very spiritual, very giving, being of service. So that's going to give you a lot of satisfaction, and you really want to activate this as a talent. Do more, be more giving. Finish things as well, because sometimes 18s have a big fear of making the wrong decision. So it's very hard for them to choose. And 18 is all about finalizing choice, making a decision and sticking with it. 18s can also feel a bit guilty for things they've done in the past and a bit self-sacrificing, like, oh, I've got to give more of myself because I wronged them in the past. So it's letting go of guilt, and it's not sacrificing yourself at the altar of other people. A bit similar to 8s and boundaries. And you've got to ask yourself what to do rather than other people. That's a really big thing. It's all about yourself, trusting yourself. And you've got this big power of 9s. You've got that big intuition flowing in. So you've got to trust yourself. You've got to forgive yourself for past mistakes. You've got to finish things off and know that there are no mistakes. There's never mistakes. There's no right or wrong decision. There's decision A, decision B, and both decisions come with a lot of benefits. There's never a wrong decision. That's a myth. Okay. Okay. We're on to 19. Who's got a 19? No 19s here. 19's a little bit rare. It's all about holding on. Ooh, who's got a 19?
Yeah, and spiritual karma and spiritual goals.
Ah, okay, spiritual. Okay, so 19s. 19s are all about learning to laugh at yourself. Yeah, so they can have a little bit of self-judgment, the 19s, a bit hard on themselves. So it's all about learning to laugh at yourself and to bring that lightness to your life and to laugh at the world as well. And the lovely thing, because it's in a spiritual triangle, it's about bringing spiritual energies down, creating a container for them, for other people to find them. So it's holding space for others. It's a beautiful, beautiful number to have. But it's a little tricky because it's both physical and spiritual. So it can sometimes create a little bit of tension. Like, what am I really doing right now? What am I creating? Is it something spiritual? Is it something physical? Is it a physical space? Is it something online? So there can be a little bit of difficulty in knowing, but a very compassionate, loving energy. You're really here to help others reach their goals, and very service orientated. A lot of these numbers at the end, very service orientated. But you have to, again, like all of these heavy, very strong spiritual numbers, you have to know how to use your power properly and be careful of not feeling like you know everything. 19s, 10 1s, 22 4s can sometimes feel like we know a lot. So it's just being aware of that. And we can be a bit sensitive if we have 19. So sensitive numbers, 11 twos, 19s, 8s, 5s, sensitive souls. So you've got to be in service to others. You've got to learn to laugh, overcome self-judgment, a lot of laughter needed, a lot of grounding and spiritual practices to keep connecting to this lovely flow of energies coming down. Okay, we've got 2 more numbers and then we're done. This is amazing. You guys have done so well. 20. This is amazing, this number. This is about movement, seeking new experiences, never wanting to stop. Anyone got a 20 in their chart? A 20, a 22? Oh, Hannah.
Yeah.
Where's your 22?
Spiritual talents.
Ooh, she's a seeker. Seeking new experiences. You've also got that 9 energy, like you're very sort of doing things. You're very sort of, you've got that energy to do things. Very flexible, lovely flowing energy. And people with 20s are very practical, very organized, reliable. People really rely on you if you have a 20. And you have this lovely nurturing energy that brings people in and you buffer them with your energy, with the 2. So it's a very loving energy. Yet, and this is the best thing about the 2s, there's a lesson here and it's called water peace. And it's all about finding inner peace through self-acceptance, and that resolves external conflict. So sometimes with a 22, especially in karma, we can have beef with people, we can have issues, we can have conflict, whether it's in our family or people we work with. And that conflict comes from a lack of inner peace. When you are peaceful within, you know it's not worth it, and you can let it go and leave it, and the conflict dissolves. It's a very powerful lesson, that. And really, because there's so much movement, it's all about letting go of rigid beliefs and concepts. There's a lot of movement in the 2 as well, lots of moving energies. So be careful of ups and downs. Be careful of being in conflict with others, and you resolve that by finding that lovely inner sense of contentment and peace. And let go of your rigidity. So you can do that by opening up to new ways of thinking, expanding your mind, and focusing on peace within yourself to heal the conflict within, and therefore heal the conflict without, externally. And have a bit of balance with your exploration, because you want to do so much. You have to slow down sometimes. Yes. Okay, last 2. Okay, who has a 21-3 in their chart? Charlie, you have a 21-3. Does anyone else have a 21-3? Ruth, Mel, you have one. Where's Mel? Mel, where's yours?
Spiritual karma.
Lovely. And then Hannah, did you have a 21-3?
Yeah, physical goals.
Oh, the 21-3 energy, people. Okay. 21-3 is all about endurance and hardship, but don't let that put you off. 21-3 is all about, 21 in particular, is overcoming challenges. So it's using your intelligence and strength and durability to take on big challenges in your life. So often there is something big that comes along. So I gave a reading to a young guy who was only 21 and he had this as his goal. And I said, have you had a big challenge in your life? And he said, I was a rugby player and I broke my leg, and that was really, really hard. So it could be anything. A challenge is anything that comes in and is something you have to work through. So I don't know if that resonates with the people with the 21s, the 21 energy. Yeah, I'm seeing some nodding. Yeah, it's like this big thing that we have to work through. It's a very physical, grounded energy. 21 is like a big, slow moving steam train, steamroller. And people with this have a lot of strength. Otherwise, you would not have this number in your chart. I want to reassure you. If you didn't have the strength to overcome challenges, you wouldn't have a 21-3. So you can withstand a lot. It's a very powerful number. I would say if people have had this in their chart, they might have gone through a lot, but they can withstand a lot. You have a lot of strength within you. Okay. because your soul wants you to develop endurance so you can unblock your power and creativity. It's a very empowering number. And the way you do that, the way you overcome these obstacles, is just by moving through obstacles one at a time. This is the key to a 23. You have to just keep moving through. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep moving. Very, very powerful when you do that. And that's really what you need to do. And if you have anger and frustration, you harness it. You catch it and you harness it and you put it into action. And physical movement's really good for people with a 21 in their chart. It helps get everything moving in the body, because it can be a very stagnant energy sometimes. It can be very heavy and lethargic, or it can be very restless and light. It's a seesaw. So we have to be careful that we're not trying to do everything the hard way with a 21, even though it can feel really hard. And it goes with the 3, because the 3 is like knowing your worth and bringing your wisdom out to kind of overcome challenges, if that makes sense. Sometimes there can be a bit of suppression from childhood. Sometimes. I always say that with a big caveat. It's totally dependent on the person, totally. And it might have been very mild, or it might be much more heavy. And when I say suppression, I mean just maybe not being able to be yourself as a child. And that can lead to a bit of anger. Anger is a very deep emotion, and you have a 3 here because you might not feel it. It's buried very deeply, and you have to come out and let it out. Okay, so anger is a key one with the 21s. Okay, the last number. Oh, this is amazing. We got there, and this is the best number because it is about completion. The 22 is everything. It's the triangle of mind, body, and soul. And it's all of the numbers. It's spiritual, it's physical, it's creative, and it's all about communication. And it's all about connecting to source and connecting all of these things together. Does anyone have a 22-4?
My son does.
Where is it, Kiara, the 22-4?
Spiritual karma.
Okay, so spiritual karma. So a big lesson for the 22 is ugliness to beauty. It's got that awful phrase like foolishness and ugliness, but it's all about learning to accept yourself and accept the perfection of yourself. So sometimes our vision is distorted, and it's often very beautiful people that have a 22-4, but they just don't realize their inner beauty or their external beauty. And it's really all about learning to accept that. And again, very spiritual number. You are here to be of service. And really, you have everything within you. And all you need to do is trust, because the 4s, remember, are trusting the flow of God's abundance, the flow of spiritual abundance. And this is the big lesson for the 22-4. And the watch out, they can be a know-it-all. 22-4, especially in a karma, can be like, I know better than you. A bit like a Messiah returned complex. I've got a few friends who have this. And yeah, it's all about don't be a know-it-all with a 22-4. But no one has it here, so it's okay. But not everyone has that. You got to accept yourself. And really, it's a bit of a tough karma to have, because it's all about knowing where you come from, source energy. You know it, but you're also disconnected from it, because the 4s are all about disconnecting from abundance. You don't trust it flowing to you. So it's quite a lot of tension in this 22-4, this 22. So really, anything that connects you back to spirit, and lots of body work to release that tension of this. I know I'm from source, but I don't believe it, and I don't trust it. It's a very, very intense feeling. And I know people who have this, and I've spoken to them. It's very intense. So